All right. This is a bit of a joke to share. A common thing I keep seeing on YouTube is young lads who've made a tiny bit of cash, getting a lease on an extremely expensive car, and then doing the YouTube thing where you flex the wealth to get the views. And I understand that game, and I think it's very clever, and I understand how it's hijacking the jealousy matrix of the brain. But I kind of wanted to start with this point where this car behind me, a Land Rover Defender, for the longest time, I equated that with success in Britain. And the truth is that it largely equates with inherited wealth that has been accumulated through lineage, not through entrepreneurship. Everybody I know who's entrepreneurial doesn't buy one of these. Those are what countrymen and inheritors and aristocrats and people who have not created buy. It's not a creative choice for a vehicle. It is not actually a very good vehicle if you want to be comfortable. It is not a smooth vehicle if you want to ride in a kind of quiet environment. And so it's interesting when you see a vehicle like this, that brand new and modified and ready to hit the countryside, and think, well, that's £150,000, so probably you need to make £200,000 pre-tax with the discounts based on your business to buy that outright, or you get it on a £5,000 a month lease. And you just think, this is a rubbish car. I genuinely think that a basic Model 3 for £200 a month is much better. But more deeply than that, and aside from all the figures, the kind of left brain logical, rational side of it all, the right brain is I just had this idea that if I could reach the point where I could afford something like this, that would mean I'd be part of the club. I'd be part of the kind of genteel gerontocracy, aristocratic kind of British upper crust. My grandfather had 6 people in one room. My father was a doctor. Maybe I could reach the next levels of the game. And now I just think the whole game is ridiculous. The UK has this giant set of people who never need to work because they are enjoying just vast amounts of wealth from their family. Then it also has a giant set of people who are too young to work. And it also has a giant set of people who are too old to work. And really the whole of the UK rests on a few fantastic businesses that are based here and a bunch of entrepreneurs who are grinding it out and paying their taxes. And so my whole conception of where status lies, or what status matters to me, is really shifted from vapid displays of success to creation. And I guess I just wanted to share this because it's just a giant story that was living in my brain. I could go buy that in cash, no problem, but I have no interest in doing so. The thing that interests me now is, what will my grandchildren be riding in? I think it will be electric, autonomous, robotic cars. And so if I am to spend money, I want to spend it on companies that are, what I think, heading in the direction of creating automated vehicles in which you can sleep, that will charge themselves without waking me up, and will allow me to kind of travel at night in my rest. Because I think that's the future. I think that self-driving should be permitted initially, full self-driving, in the hours of 12 till 6 a.m. on the highways. And that would allow this kind of circulatory system that's totally empty, relatively speaking, that is across all countries, to be utilized at night. And the incentive there would be for me to go to sleep in a van, just like I can go to sleep on a train, go to sleep on a plane, go to sleep on any other form of kind of public transport, like a coach, and I can wake up and I'm there. And so I think that for me, my incremental personal spending has to be on things that I want everybody else to personally experience. I was the first person to get the iPhone out of all my friends I knew because I could afford it. I was running my own little business. First person to get the MacBook Air, first person to get iPad Pro, first person to get Apple Vision Pro, first person to do these things. But in each of those cases, they were tools that were allowing me to explore the digital realm. whereas a Land Rover Defender is just something that flexes on other people. I think that the vehicles I'm excited about are all of the interesting electric designs from Lotus and VW and Rivian and like all of these other companies. And so when I think about my dream car, the dream is of future generations benefiting from investment in cars that are good. I care about getting from A to B. I care about bringing my kite surfing equipment. It's one of the few physical possessions that I actually crave now. And I care about making contact with what matters in the future. But letting people know that I can afford a £200,000 car, that has completely flown out the window, and there's no desire for that anymore, which is very different from what I was like in my early 20s, where I felt like I needed this, and I didn't. So the tale as old as time, but it's not that I don't want to spend money. It's that I want to spend money on things that I think my grandkids will be excited about. If I showed them, hey, look at this original electric car that used to drive itself. It's like one of the first. They're like, wait, one of the first? Wow. I think that's like the Model T. And our Model T will be the first sleeper van. Where you lie down, strap in, say, go to Scotland, and you wake up and you're in the Highlands, and it's just gently driving you there. I think that'd be an incredible experience. All right, those are some thoughts. Cheers. You.